We've been running low on our happy pills. Since February, supply chain issues have forced pharmacists to ration fluoxetine used to treat depression. Like most SSRIs, its withdrawal symptoms range from nausea to anxiety to the dreaded brain zaps. Fluoxetine is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, an SSRI. Pharmac says here in Aotearoa, around 380,000 of us are on them.
You know, I was as tense as you before I learned to relax.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
The idea that serotonin, aka the happy hormone, is linked to depression came about in the 1950s, when patients given a new drug for tuberculosis became unusually cheerful.
It then came into a line of thinking whereby maybe there are brain chemicals that can actually help with mood. And how do we go about boosting mood?
Given this is what happens when we take other substances that release serotonin, that theory seemed to be watertight. But last year, an umbrella review of 17 studies dropped a bomb on it.
We looked at all those different areas of research and found that none of them provided any convincing evidence that serotonin was unusually low in people with depression.
So, do SSRIs even work?
Antidepressants work best if you've got a severe depression. Most people we see, certainly in general practice, have mild to moderate depressions, and many of those get better fairly quickly. I estimate maybe 3 to 4% of people in New Zealand are getting benefit from antidepressants. I think the estimate is about 12% of the country is on antidepressants, so really a minority are getting a benefit from them.
So why are GPs still prescribing them?
The entire healthcare system is stretched and GPs have very limited time to be seeing people. And often the tendency is to prescribe medications because, number one, it's something the GP can immediately do. But also from the patient, they might be looking for something quick, something tangible that they can take away.
Some GPs prefer to treat depression with a method called behavioural activation.
And that, in a study we did in our clinic, was getting people to exercise, catch up with a close friend, and do something pleasurable. Those three things got 46% of people better in 1 week, complete remission. We overplay the medication and we underplay the importance of social networks. We're social primates, basically. People, when they get low in mood, avoid their social contacts, which is absolutely the worst thing to do.
Meanwhile, Pharmac says the supply chain issues with fluoxetine will be resolved by the end of the month. And the good news is that it can be swapped for another SSRI.
They could easily change to citalopram, escitalopram, those ones. I'd just say to people, well, if you can't get it, talk to your prescriber about getting one of the other ones.
The way I see it, like exercise is just so important. I think for 15 years I was having to exercise for physical gains to be able to go out there and hit people on the field. but now it's not so much that. It's if I don't exercise, I get really titchy, and my wife will tell you about that.
Grumpy Kieran.
It's so important for your mental well-being. So I find doing the exercise now, it's not about being physically strong. It's more about getting the brain working and getting things going.
Hard out. And there would have been a time that if someone was feeling a bit depressed and you said, go and do some exercise, they would have been like, excuse me. But I think we are hearing more and more stories and seeing more and more evidence of how much that helps. I take SSRIs, and just one kind. And I don't take it because I think, oh, cool, this is magically going to help me fix whatever's going on with me. I take it and I like to think of it as like a slice of the pie. So, yep, exercise is part of that. My friendships and whānau are part of that. Having time to myself, as counterintuitive as it seems, I really need to have that. And if I've got all those slices of the pie lined up, then I know I'm in a really good place. And yeah, I think that you should have conversations with your doctor or someone you trust about whether you think medications are right for you. Definitely don't make any sudden moves to jump off them if you've watched that story, but it's just always worth thinking about, am I getting that balance of all these things right?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that. Please don't stop your meds just on the basis of a project segment. Because you're a medical professional.
In the first instance, a great place always to text or call is 1737.